Hi Ayush, how are you?
Hey, hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So, congratulations on a great score. That's 730 is a great score to get on the GMAT.
Thank you.
And how do you feel?
So, kind of relieved. So, I guess almost 50% of job is done. Now, rest is up to the applications, essay, and other things.
Yeah. Could you just start by introducing yourself to us a bit?
Sure. So, I did my engineering from BITS Pilani. I graduated in 2017 with a dual degree, one MSc Mathematics and BE Mechanical Engineering from there. Then I started working in a logistics startup, Rivigo. Uh, So I worked there for almost 2.5 years, and I worked on building the channel, which is like a franchise network. So then I moved on to delivery, which is again a logistics startup, and there again a similar profile. Then I took a break. I wanted to take a break from work and like reflect. Then I spent some time understanding agriculture industry. Then COVID happened. So I thought it's a good time to reinforce, I would say, skill set, or let's say academic reinforcement. So I thought of starting up with GMAT. So again, because I have been like away from studies for like almost around 4 years. So I thought it would be
Mm-hmm.
better if I had some discipline, some schedule to like start with. So then I started looking for the on online coaching live classes available. So Jamboree, I was one of the popular choices in India. So I went ahead with Jamboree. Uh, so I guess the classwork gave a lot of structure, and like in it was I guess 10 week session. So the 10 week classes which I joined. So I was able to like start off like there's a bit of hesitation, right, when you start out like after too many years, and like you have to do the same maths you did in 10th standard. So it's like you know it, but again the point is like why do it again? So that's where like Jamboree helped to like keep pushing and what do you say, uh, help build a tempo like of practicing doing it again. Then again the other challenge was the verbal, so which is again, if I talk about my schooling, so like I did from a English medium, but again, it's like you start. So there are a lot of times we use the wrong grammar, and again, that is where you have to be very careful when it comes to verbal in GMAT. So again, the process and the teaching method was like very accurate, I would say. And in fact, what I've realized over time is the Jamboree practice tests are, I would say, in my case, they were very accurate reflection of what I was going to get. So initially, my first attempt wasn't good, and like again, the test scores on the Jamboree portal were like similar in the same range, let's say plus minus 20. And in my second attempt, in which I got 730. So again, uh, my test scores on the practice test scores like range from like 710 to 740. So which was again very accurate, I would say. So overall, I would say the study material was adequate. I would say rather than like more than adequate. So there was a time where I started like doubting whether this material was sufficient for the second attempt or not. But I realized that it was not about the material; it was actually following the what has been taught in the class. And because I was working, so I didn't want to like spend a lot of time understanding technicalities of, let's say, grammar and other things. I would just want to like get the right score. So that's where like Jamboree helped a lot.
Okay.
So now,
Uh,
yeah, please.
yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
So now I'm like very. I was like satisfied with the score, and again, I don't plan to like go for any further attempt because again, I think it won't be the right optimization of time, I would say.
That's seems sensible. So when did you decide that you want to pursue an MBA while already been working?
So after COVID, and like, so again, I've worked like with startups. So the other thing which I realized I would want, so for long-term stability, so there is one thing you would want to work in a stable organization, and the startup environment is really exciting and it's good for learning. But I would say, so I personally believe that I should like start working in a, let's say, a legacy company, or let's say a big four or MBB, or for in fact, let's say a unicorn startup. So for me getting there, I realized there was kind of a saturation, or let's say the quality of work which I was doing in a small startup, the same quality of work, if I had to like get the same quality of work in, let's say, a startup like Amazon, or let's say Flipkart or Uber. So I have to like have a more number of years for experience to like actually get shortlisted for those roles. So I thought like there is a stagnation and I would want to like get over it. So I thought like, why not an MBA? So that would able to that, so MBA would act as a bridge and again give me time to reinforce my academic background. Uh, then the other thing is like, again, uh, so again, I like to network with people. So again, it's a good opportunity for me to like like be part of another alumni. So that's something at which I believe I can leverage. And so let's see how it goes. So again, there like a lot of times there are like a lot of unknowns in life. So the best way to like know the unknowns is to like actually do it.
I mean, that's a very sensible analogical line of thought, that he wanted to do the same kind of work in a bigger organization and really be up to speed with what all is required for there. That's why an MBA seems logical. That makes sense. So, why in your GMAT preparation with the Jamboree, how did you feel about the study material?
So I think the study material is adequate. I didn't have to go to, let's say, purchasing any external study material. For example, there were a lot of recommendation for Manhattan books, etc. But I felt that there was no need, because it was more about like following the right steps, the right procedure, the process. So I think, and after I got the score, I got a lot of calls from my classmates asking like whether like, so again, I guess they had the same doubt which I had, whether this study material was enough, was the process perfect to get the right score. So I think for to them and the larger audience, I would say the study material is perfect. There is no further requirement of like putting in money and getting further study material. And as far as the process is concerned, I think it makes sense to me. Like there, like again, there are multiple uh, coachings available for GMAT, but again, I personally believe that you should like trust like at least someone and like follow the same process, like not try to like balance between like, not try to sail in like two boats, but yeah, just trust your I would say the faculty and just do whatever they say.
What was your biggest learning throughout your experience of just preparing for the GMAT and finally giving it?
I didn't get the questions, the initial part.
So, so what was your learnings in the sense of what areas did you think that not only knowledge wise, but by the way you were approaching, you had to change your methods maybe, or just go about it in a certain way. So was there any approach that you felt led you to get to such a good score?
So initially, I was trying to like during my first attempt, I would put it like I was trying to follow the process, but I was trying to play in the gray area. I used to sometimes use my own logic and like sometimes the process. So that's where I like made mistakes, or let's say, uh, so I would say again, the other thing was I like stopped second guessing. Sometimes you like start second guessing that, oh no, not option B might not be right. Let's go for option D. So that's another point where you lose a lot of score. So that was one of the major issues. The other was so quant generally, because I come from an engineering background and like most of the MBAs from India too, right? So I believe we are like very overconfident that we are good at mathematics, but it's like they're like certain basic. So I would say you need more finesse, and finesse would come with practice. Again, you don't have a lot of time. Let's say for a board exam, you have an year to prepare, right? But when it comes to a GMAT, you're not taking a year, or you're hardly taking like 4 months to actually prepare for it. So I think a lot of concentration and actually practice as much as you can in verbal uh, is good. So again, so during my second attempt, I actually uh, re-attempted all the exercises I did earlier, all the like sectional tests as well. It's not about, it's not that you repeat you solving the same questions, but it's about like getting that accuracy, right? So if I'm not able to get the questions which I've already attempted earlier and got wrong, if I'm not able to correct them the second time, then there is no improvement. So it's like you have to like focus on keywords, like understand the question. So it's I would say finesse and like more focus. So quant is all about, I would say, understanding the question, what the question is actually asking, because you'll have the all the numbers in front of you, but it's all, so sometimes we, let's say someone is asking for what was the increase, but we rather like quote the total revenue, let's say. So these are like some basic issues which I felt I had, so I had to like focus more on reading. uh, then the other thing was giving sectional tests and actually doing a time bound exercise helps you focus better. So if you, let's say, using a Jamboree book 2 to practice, and you are clocking it using your mobile phone stopwatch, or let's say a normal watch, you still tend to I would say it's not the most optimum way to do it, but rather doing it on the laptop screen or the computer screen with the clock running. So that you can actually time like how much time you've spent on this particular question, helps you get the balance, and moreover, it helps you come over the hesitation. So there is a, not the hesitation, but I would say the panic. So sometimes it happens we spend like three minutes on a quant question and we panic, but it's about like figuring out, if I've spent like 3 minutes on this question, do I have sufficient time for the rest of the questions? Because it might happen that you might have solved the earlier question, let's say on an average 10 seconds faster. So you definitely have a leeway, right? So I think best way to practice is on the computer screen with the clock running on the computer itself. Uh, so these were like some small optimizations I did during my second, what is it? The what is it? How do I put it? The second session, phase of practice, I would say.
I think that's a very good way to have approached everything. So, for the people who might be watching it, for students who might want be looking to take their GMAT very soon, do you have any advice, any suggestions for them?
So I think one is what I felt, a lot of people lose conviction and moreover confidence on the faculty. But I say, if it can be Jamboree or it can be another institution which helps students get a good score in GMAT. But I think whatever institution you follow, you have to like actually trust the institution, their process, because they have been there, they know what's right. So just trust. And so you should have conviction on the process, what is being taught to you. The other thing is, I don't feel you should focus too much on getting like solving too many questions. It's about, I would say, rather than, it's about quality again, like following the process rather than solving thousands of questions without following the process and getting them like not getting the optimum accuracy.
I'm sure that will be really helpful for everyone who watches, and they'll gain a lot out of having watched this. Thank you so much, Ayush, for having joined us. Best of luck for your journey ahead.
Thank you.
Well done. Bye bye.